you hear the words distance learning, do you picture this? A teacher trying his or her best to get any scrap of instruction across to students who are lacking engagement or completely distracted. Believe it or not, distance education has existed for over 200 years and has taken many forms. Correspondence courses, televised university classes, courses on tape or CD, and other forms of distance education have existed over the years. Today, however, almost all distance education takes place online, whether through learning management systems, LMSs, like Google Classroom, Moodle, and Canvas, virtual learning environments such as Nearpod or Seesaw, or through educational apps like Duolingo and Khan Academy. While there are countless numbers of tools for hosting and selling online learning for profit, we will focus on the tools and distance learning contexts that best fit within our public school context. Distance learning has some distinct advantages, but also specific challenges that accompany any implementation, whether synchronous, asynchronous, or a blend of both. During the pandemic, the chief advantage of distance learning was in the name, distance. Students were able to access education from the relative safety of their own homes. The experience of the pandemic also shed light on other benefits of distance learning. For example, Falconer and Gruss point to flexibility in learning schedules, where families could adjust learning times to better fit their work and family structures. Also, the ability to customize pacing and access repetition gave students the ability to better meet their individual learning styles. However, the pandemic also presented teachers and learners with many challenges. Distance education takes much planning and forethought for structuring the learning activities in such a way the students can access it autonomously. This is especially true in the elementary setting, where reading and following instruction is an issue, and doubly so in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas such as ours, where parents have less education and available time to assist their children. There's also the large question of the difficulty of student interaction with both the teacher and their peers. This can cause problems getting timely answers to questions, fostering student engagement, and facilitating group collaboration. It can also cause feelings of social isolation and loneliness. A key component of education is the camaraderie and community of a classroom. And while it is possible to build these online, it's much more challenging. Two learning theories that fit well with online learning are cognitivism and connectivism. Cognitivism places emphasis on students themselves engaging with the material and reflecting on it to make internal connections to prior knowledge and thereby construct new knowledge. Therefore, the teacher role is to carefully design courses to facilitate and maximize these student interactions, with lessons carefully building on one another. This fits well with the highly designed and individual student-focused context of online learning. Students are often responsible for engaging with the material on their own time and reflecting through written assignments or discussion forums. This is especially true in the asynchronous setting. Connectivism places great emphasis on students gaining the skills to access needed information quickly and efficiently through the use of technology. Online learning is an excellent vehicle for this theory, as students are already connected to the internet as a prerequisite. It is therefore fundamental to this style of learning that connectivism be at least part of the curricular design. As in connectivism, student success is dependent on their ability to acquire, evaluate, and apply information from online sources. As a district, we need to evaluate and select a vehicle for online learning. There are many available in the marketplace, and more have been added since the pandemic. For learning management systems, 3 of the most common are Google Workspace, which includes Classroom and Google Meet, Canvas, and Moodle. These 3 platforms can be put into 3 buckets: open-sourced, easy to use, and powerful. Moodle is open-sourced, so it is the most flexible. The software is free, but also needs the most attention from IT, a dedicated server to host it, and it can also be very complicated for both districts and teachers to set up. However, the software itself is fairly easy to use for students and teachers, and useful in that it can be customized to meet specific needs. Google is easy to use, in that it is an off-the-shelf product that Google hosts on their own servers. As a Google district, already paying for Google Workspace and education, it would not be any extra cost to our district. It has a simple-to-use interface with easy assignment creation, grading, security features, and integration with many popular learning apps such as Edpuzzle and Nearpod. It also integrates seamlessly with Meet for synchronous classes, and Google Drive for resource creation, and Gmail for communication. The most powerful LMS in the list is Canvas. Canvas is a full learning management system, which includes powerful grading and administration tools, such as attendance. There are powerful course creation tools for teachers, including customizable learning tracks, which provides accommodation in a constructivist framework. However, Canvas is also expensive and would require a lot of professional development for teachers to learn to use it. Based on these considerations, I would recommend using Google Classroom as our LMS due to the lack of added cost and the ease of use. We could train teachers with a series of short videos or have them go through Google's free training course. For courses themselves, I would make 3 recommendations. First, we should use a blend of synchronous and asynchronous learning activities. Synchronous activities provide the social interaction and collaboration that are important for career skill development and social emotional health. Also, Google Classroom and Meet should be used in conjunction with a virtual learning environment, such as Nearpod, to facilitate deeper student engagement with synchronous lessons, and better teacher feedback and formative assessment during both synchronous and asynchronous lessons. Nearpod hosts learning materials, gives opportunities for checks for understanding, collaboration, discussions, and live demonstration. It also integrates multimedia experiences. Finally, project-based learning should be employed to help students develop problem-solving skills, teamwork, and 21st century connectivist skills that can translate to college and career readiness.